In this video, I'm going to discuss, is an outsourced worker a member of staff? Find out in this video. Before I start this video, I'm going to have to say that this is not tax or legal advice. You should speak to a lawyer or an accountant in your country to find out what the position is in your country. Now, with that said, I'm going to tell you my understanding of it is and how I've been doing things. Okay, so is an outsourced worker a member of staff? Well, yes and no. Yes, basically treat them like a member of staff. You pay them, you work with them, you get jobs done, etc. But no, they are not strictly an employee per se in the country that you're in, because they are in a different country. Well, unless you're in the Philippines, in which case they are a member of staff. But if you're outside the Philippines and you're hiring someone from the Philippines, then no, they are not strictly a member of staff. So you do not pay national insurance for them. You do not pay social security or tax or anything like that for that member of staff. That makes the staff member a lot cheaper. Added with that, the price of paying for people in the Philippines is a lot less than in most Western countries. You can save crazy amounts of money for the same kind of work from someone who's skilled to do the job, but from the Philippines. Now, one of the things is that while they're not a member of staff, I treat all the people who work with me, who are outsourced workers, like they are a member of staff. So for example, any of the rules or any of the things that they would get as an employee or a staff member for a Filipino company, I will give them that in the company they work with me. What it basically boils down to is that it's quite like the American system in a lot of ways. There's added benefits that you get in the UK system that you wouldn't get in the Philippines, and some of them they're given to the Filipino staff as well, because I want them to feel that they are part of the team, that they are important, that they are worthwhile employees, and I want them to enjoy their job, and I want them to feel that they've got added perks and stuff that they wouldn't normally get from outsourced jobs, or even in their own country they wouldn't get, those perks for working for someone. Some things are unbelievably simple, like for example a 5-day work week. Believe it or not, in the Philippines it's very common for jobs to be a 6-day work week. So 5-day work week is what we have in the UK and in Spain, and that's what we give to the Filipinos as well. For most of the jobs tend to have people work Monday to Friday. We also allow them to work their own times as opposed to setting times. Now, in, for example, the UK, if you had someone working for you, say as a freelancer or so on, and they work self-employed for themselves, then you could not dictate to them when they work. You can tell them what work you want done. You can tell them the quality and standards you want it at, but you cannot say to them, oh, you have to work between such and such times, because that effectively makes them a member of staff. So one of the things we give to Filipino workers is we will say, for example, oh, we need you to be available round about morning time UK and Spain time so we can speak to you, because the time difference just now is 6 hours for Spain, 7 hours for the UK. Now when it goes into winter time, that changes, -1 hour again, so they become 7 hours in the future for Spain, or 8 hours for the UK. But technically speaking, it generally means that when you are talking to them in the morning in the UK and Spain, you're speaking to them early evening, around about 5-6 o'clock in the evening. So it's not such a big problem, and that generally works really well. Now, if you're in America, you'll find the time zone to be a little bit more tricky, so you'll be more than likely be telling people to do jobs maybe later on in your evening. They're getting up first thing in the morning, or you're just setting them work to do overnight, and then you're seeing what they've done, getting the report and so on. But when it comes to them being a member of staff, no, they're not. But you want to treat them like they are. You want to treat them as part of the team. You want to basically make them feel that they are not just a freelancer, that they are a member of staff for all intents and purposes. However, one of the things that's different from members of staff to freelancers is that freelancers have to invoice you for your work. So people who work for you from, say, the Philippines, they will send you an invoice, whether that's every 2 weeks or every month, depending how you do the pay. Now, I do it every 2 weeks for Filipino staff because that's a system that they like better. It's just something that works for them. In the UK and Spain, we pay our staff on a monthly basis, and once you've started to work with someone for a while, it is possible to say to them, hey, do you want to, change over to a month payment platform instead of getting paid every 2 weeks? Now, I asked all the staff the question, and 2 of them said it wouldn't be an issue. 4 of them basically told me why it would be an issue for them, and we decided to just stick to the way it is currently, because at the end of the day, yes, I'm having to do the payments 24 times a year instead of 12 times a year, but it's not a hardship. It's not very hard at all. We've got systems set up. So I just press a button and out comes a CSV file of all the payments. I upload that to TransferWise, which I've talked about in another video. I'll probably add a card up there so you can click on and see about that. And the money just gets sent over to them within an hour. Usually it turns up within 30 minutes for them. So it's not hard. It doesn't take up much of my time to do at all. So I don't mind doing it. Yes, it's a few more invoices. Well, there's 10 members of staff, so that's 20 invoices a month times 12. But, again, not really a big deal in the grand scheme of things, especially with the amount of things that get done for them. Now, you do want to double check what your situation is. So, for example, we have to show that the payment has left the UK and went to the Philippine bank of the member staff, because at the end of the day, the taxman sees all this money going out, and they want to have invoices and they want to have proof that this money is actually being sent away abroad to a real person. It's not that hard to do. You can ask them for copies of their ID and so on if you need to present that kind of thing, but generally speaking, an invoice is more than fine for covering what you actually have to do tax-wise. Now, for new start Filipinos or people who haven't worked online before, the concept of an invoice is actually quite strange to them. So you will have to explain how you actually do the invoices. Now, one of my members of staff is also going to be making a YouTube channel at the same time to explain how it works from the worker's point of view. I'm talking about it from the boss's point of view. So he'll be explaining one of his short videos how to make an invoice. It isn't up yet, but I'll add a card once he's done it, so you can click on that and actually see that video. So when you get members of staff who are Filipinos, you can just send them to the video. He will be speaking to them in Tagalog and Tagola. I said it wrong. He'll be speaking to them in their language as well as English. It's quite a mix actually of when they're talking. It's quite good actually. I was watching one of his videos he done and I was really, really impressed by it. He's not one of the shy Filipinos, that's for sure. But yeah, getting the invoice correct for most business people in Western countries, doing an invoice is second nature. You don't even think about it. It's fairly straightforward. But if someone has never done an invoice before, they have to know the basics. They have to tell you the name, who the supplier is, what the job was that was done, the amount to be charged, the bank, to pay it to, etc., etc. But again, there'll be a link for that video. I'll update it at some point later on. This video will go up first probably, and then later on I'll update it so you can actually send people to it. It'll probably be a link in the description actually. So that's one of the other fundamental differences. Now, what I would say is that it is important to, when treating them like a member of staff, is to give them stuff like, bank holidays and holiday pay, sick pay, different kinds of things like that. Now, one of the things that is different from employing someone in a job is that you would have to give them maternity pay in the UK and Spain. Now, strictly speaking, you don't have to do that for them, but what I've decided to do for my Filipino staff is to treat them just exactly the same way as they'd be treated in the Philippines if they got pregnant. So everybody gets paid when and if that happens. That's fine. Things in place of the company for that. And the good thing about that is that, especially if they're a mother, they want to have work once their baby is getting to the point where they can return to work. I've got one of my members of staff has a young baby. I believe he's maybe about 9 months or something like that just now when this video went up. But she works from home because she's in flexible time. She's able to work between the child and the child's needs. Obviously, it's a young baby, so it goes down to sleep and stuff like that at different points in the day, and she's able to do her job, and she really, really likes the job for that basis of it being really flexible. She doesn't have to speak to anyone, so it's all online virtual assistant stuff. So it's all typing things, researching, looking up things and dealing with different tasks and so on, and they all can get done at different points during the day. So it doesn't bother me in the slightest that, she'll start her day early on in the day and finish it quite late at night, but it allows her to have the flexible time of she can do a dedicated hour of work here, dedicated 2 hours there, dedicated hour there, and fit the child round about it. So you'll find that kind of employee is really grateful for the job, especially if you're clever enough to be a boss that can actually realise how beneficial that will be, because you get a huge loyalty from that kind of worker, because at the end of the day it is hard to find a job when you've got a young child and you have to stay at home with them, and online working is absolutely perfect for that kind of thing. So yeah, so that's just some of the things about the difference between outsourced workers and staff, but I implore you to treat them as if they're a member of staff. But you've got all the advantages as well, where you're not paying on national insurance, you're not paying social security and so on. So there is huge benefits to your company. You'll find that, with the lower wage as well, it really is great. One of the things that I've done is get assistance for my account managers in one of my companies, and that really has helped them out, because they've been able to work on jobs and say, well, okay, this is quite repetitive and this is something that I can train someone up how to do. So I get them to train them up on different jobs that they need done, and they can then get them to do the repetitive work so they can do more work that's geared towards bringing in clients or looking after higher paying clients and so on. That has been really, really good. So yeah, think about it like that. Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a like. Hit subscribe if you've not done so already. If you've not done so and you're already at this video, what's going on? No, well, joking aside, but hit subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can actually find out when I do more of these videos. I'll be doing them every week. Just now I'm doing roughly about 1 or 2 a week. And later on I plan to increase that once we're out of this lockdown. And yes, that's right, this video was recorded when the world was going crazy. But yeah, anyway, please share it with your friends and anybody who's interested in business and hiring people from abroad. This is a channel for them. So yeah, thank you and see you in the next video.